Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Police in Houston, Texas gave a press conference after they say a female shooter in a trench coat with a 5-year-old child entered Lakewood Church and started shooting. They said the child was injured, he was shot, and he's being treated at a local hospital. The shooter brought the child with her to the church. Here's the press conference where police give details about what happened, about the condition of the child, and another injured person, a 57-year-old man who they believe was attending church, who was shot. Police say the shooter claims she had a bomb and she was spraying a substance on the floor in the church as she was shooting. Thank you for watching, and here is the press conference.
Richmond at Timmons, and we're just probably not even 100 yards from Lifetime Fitness here, just on the other side of Lakewood Church. And as all the Fox 26 viewers that have been watching our coverage by now know, that there was a shooting at Lakewood Church just before the 2 o'clock service. I talked to a young man who was physically in the church. He had just gone to his seats with his wife. They were pretty close to the front of the stage when he heard the shots being fired. Hey, we're going to go back to Tom, I'm being told right now.
Mayor of Houston, Texas, today, unfortunately,
Houston Mayor John Whitmire, let's listen.
To report on a tragedy that occurred just before 2 o'clock at Lakewood Church as they were in between services. I'll leave the details of the first responders' reaction in a timely fashion to the Chiefs Finner and Chief Pena. I want Houstonians and surrounding communities to know that the first responders are doing their job in protecting the public, Houstonians, and surrounding communities. I also want everyone to know that this is a perfect example of the collaboration between departments. It's exactly what we've been calling for. HPD, constables. I could just go through a list of multiple agencies representing their agencies in a very responsive way. We want to give our condolences to Reverend Osteen and his congregation. It's unfortunate on a day that we want to attend church, watch America's #1 sports event. We find ourselves gathered here to respond to this tragedy. We want Houstonians to know that they are being protected by their first responders. We want to thank the Houston Fire Department for their quick response, the medical profession who is tending to one of the injured. So, as mayor of the city of Houston, I want to assure everyone that everyone is at work doing their job. Let's come together on this beautiful day, a day that we're experiencing a tragedy. Let's hug our loved ones. When you leave here today, go hug your loved ones and say a prayer for those that are involved. Say a prayer for those officers that had to drop this suspect. They're suffering right now. And all these other first responders that I'm surrounded by, they're doing their job so we can be safe. At this time, let me yield to our police chief, Troy Finner.
Thank you, Mayor.
Like the mayor said, and I think the most important message, before I get into details, is talk about the resiliency of our great city. And we worship together, we cry together, but we rebuild together. This is a tragic day to watch how we stand together. No suspect or suspects will tear down our city and our places of worship. Pastor Osteen is standing with us, and all of our partners. And I want to thank them all, our local, our state, our federal partners. I just want to give some detail here, but pray for everybody that's involved. The victims who I'll discuss here, and the unsaid victims, those individuals that came here to worship today and had to witness this. But rest assured, in this city, we're going to stand strong and we're going to move forward. So approximately at 1:53 p.m., a female, approximately 35 years old, entered the property on the west side here in the parking lot of Lakewood Church. She entered the building. She was armed with a long rifle and a trench coat with a backpack, accompanied by a small child, approximately 4 to 5 years old. Once she entered, at some point she began to fire. I want to compliment the off-duty officers who were working extra employment here. One TABC agent, 4 years of service, 38 years old. An HPD off-duty officer, 28 years old, 2 years of service. Both officers, officer and agent, engaged, striking the female. She's deceased here on the scene. Unfortunately, a 5-year-old kid was hit and is in critical condition at our local hospital. There was a 57-year-old man who didn't have anything to do with it, I don't think, was shot in the leg. He's seeking treatment in the hospital. So let's all pray for each and every one of them. Once she went down, officers reported back to us that she threatened, that she had a bomb. So we searched her vehicle, our bomb squad, and also the backpack. No explosives were found, but she was also spraying some type of substance on the ground. So HFD came and the fire chief would speak briefly on that. But again, we're going to stand strong. Again, I want to commend those officers. She had a long gun, and it could have been a lot worse. But they stepped up and they did their job. And I want to thank them for that. As you know, when an officer's involved in a shooting, we conducted a criminal investigation, Harris County District Attorney's Office, and also both agencies conduct administrative investigations. That will take place. Both of these officers will, and the officer and the agent will be placed on administrative duty. But again, let's pray for everybody. And we stand strong here in Houston. I'll pass it on right now. Let me say this too. Places of worship. That's what they are. And that's what they will remain in our city. So it's just an opportunity for us to refocus and make sure that we all look out for one another. There will be increased patrols and a lot of conversation in our command posts with our federal partners and our local partners. We're going to increase those patrols in and around those religious institutions. And it doesn't matter which faith. We love everybody here in our city, and everybody's important. So let me pass it on to Fire Chief Pena.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Mayor. First of all, let me thank all the agencies that are here with us. This is really a team effort, and our prayers are with, and our positive thoughts are with the injured, and with the officers that engaged this suspect. It's traumatic not only for our community, but it's certainly traumatic for the officers who've had to take a life, and we worry about their mental health as well. So our prayers are with them, and we're going to give them whatever support they need to ensure that they are able to manage through this incident safely. Kudos to the first responders. The Houston Fire Department, Police Department was here within minutes. We are now dealing with consequence management of this incident. Now that the threat has been neutralized, we are going to take our time to ensure that any issue, any risk that we see is properly vetted. We have our hazmat team on scene. You see behind us, you have decon units that are participating in collaboration with the Houston Police Department's bomb squad to ensure that we are looking at every aspect that may be of risk. Right now, I can safely say that we have not found anything that is of concern to our community or to this location. But we're going to take our time to ensure that we look at every aspect. Our hazmat team, our decon team, and our rescue team will remain on scene until needed, and we're going to collaborate in this effort. We did transport two patients. One, approximately a 5-year-old child in critical condition. They went to Texas Children's, and we transported a second male, about 56 years of age, with an injury to the hip. He, last I heard, he was in stable condition. Both are still in the hospital. The child is still in critical condition, and we don't have any further information as far as his status. But again, let's pray for this community as a whole. This is traumatic for everyone, of every Houstonian, and these types of incidents are, unfortunately, something that we deal more often than we need to with. So, look, we're going to remain on scene. I'm going to pass this on now to.
Let me get right before I get it to. Let me
Okay.
before I bring it
Sure.
up. Yeah. Really quickly. This is a light, an isolated incident. We believe at this moment. Okay. No further danger to our public, but we do want to conduct a methodical search of the building to make sure that nobody's in there, nobody else is in there hurt. So that will continue. We ask that the public stay away from the area and let us do our job on that. The reunification location for our parents or our family members is the Lifetime Fitness Center here. And if you come up, we'll direct you. Try to stay on the east side of the building, not on the west side of the building, and we'll get you and reunited with your family members. Okay, Pastor.
Well, first I'll thank Chief and the Mayor and Chief Pena and all of these men and women did an amazing job, and it's just, you said it, Chief, it could have been a lot worse. Of course, we're devastated. I mean, we've been here 65 years and have somebody shooting in your church, but, you know, we don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control, and we're going to pray for that little 5-year-old boy and pray for the lady that was deceased, her family and all, and the other gentleman, but I don't know, it's just kind of in a fog, but, you know, just believe that, you know, we're going to stay strong. We're going to continue to move forward. And there are forces of evil, but the forces that are for us, the forces of God are stronger than that. So we're going to keep going strong and just, you know, doing what God's called us to do, lift people up and give hope to the world. Again, I want to thank all these gentlemen because, you know, I can only imagine if it would have happened during the 11 o'clock service. We were in between services going into the Spanish service, so, you know, if there's anything good of it, you know what, she didn't get in there and do a whole lot worse damage. So we thank God for that. He's watching over all of us, and as the Chief says, we're going to keep going strong and bringing hope to the world. But thank you again, gentlemen.
Thank you, Pastor. I'm going to get Chief Gun 2 for translation in Spanish. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. Recibimos la llamada a las 1:53. Los oficiales respondieron.
We've been listening to a police briefing from Houston Mayor John Whitmire, Fire Chief Sam Pena, Troy Finner, the police chief, Joel Osteen right there as well. Here's what we know, according to law enforcement. Just before 2 o'clock this afternoon, a woman walked in on the west entrance to Lakewood Church, armed with a rifle. She had a 5-year-old boy with her, and almost immediately started opening fire, saying she had a bomb, they said, according to her. There were some off-duty officers, a TABC agent and an HPD officer working off-duty security there at Lakewood Church. They responded immediately. They engaged the woman. She was shot. She was killed right where she stood. The child, unfortunately, that 5-year-old boy, was caught in the crossfire, critically injured, transported immediately to Texas Children's Hospital in the medical center. There was also a 57-year-old man who was apparently shot in the leg or hip. He was taken to the medical center as well. Ben Taub, I believe they said. It was the lone woman, they believe, though as we have been talking over the last couple of hours, law enforcement's going about the process of a methodical search to make sure that there are no other threats inside Lakewood Church. As Chief Troy Finner said, places of worship in Houston will remain so in our community, and noting that there will be increased patrols at houses of worship in the coming days. We don't know who this woman was. We don't know why. We don't know if there's no indication she was a member of the congregation there at Lakewood. So we don't know. Lots still to determine as they give statements there to our Spanish speaking broadcasting partners around the city as well. Going through here, Mayor Whitmire also noted that this is an example of the first responders doing their job in the city of Houston, and that it's a perfect example of collaboration in the response. But certainly, as we have noted as well, unfortunate that we are finding ourselves responding to this kind of tragedy at all, but certainly on this day when so many good things should be happening as well. We'll listen here to the mayor.
Emphasize that we appreciate our first responders. I want to emphasize what the chief said, that our places of worship will be safe in the city of Houston, regardless of your faith. And I think it's important to emphasize at this time it appears to be a lone actor, but due diligence is being taken by all the first responders from all the multiple agencies. So at this time I'll yield to questions to the chiefs.
Chief, do you have a motive? Do you know if this woman...
No, it's preliminary investigation, and I don't want to speculate on anything. You can see our federal partners are here, our local partners, our state partners, everybody, and we're going to leave no stone unturned, but we're just at the beginning. It's still an active scene, so I don't want to talk about her motivations because I don't know and we may never know the full story. But the important message is we're going to stand together as a city. We're going to stand with this church today and the pastor to make sure that healing begins immediately. But I don't want to speculate on anything else. Next question. Go ahead in the middle here.
Quick question. Is it the belief that those officers that opened fire, did they strike the child?
I have no idea right now. She fired. We don't know. And I don't want to speculate on that. But I will say this. If it was, unfortunately, and that female, that suspect, put that baby in danger, I'm going to put that blame on her. Okay? Next question. Go ahead. A little bit louder.
The child was with the suspect?
We do believe that.
Is that the child that was shot?
We believe that to be correct.
And the shooting, this used to be the Compact Center, sports arena, was my understanding, was like in the concession area in the rounds. It wasn't in the sanctuary, but in the... I'm
not sure. It's just over here on the west side here, just behind us, okay? We'll get those details to you a little bit later. Go ahead, sir.
Can you say how many shots did the suspect fire?
I have no idea. Multiple shots. Go ahead.
Was there any explosive device or anything nefarious found in the
Nothing
structure?
found. We're still searching the entire grounds, okay? And if it is, we'll report back to you on that. Next question. Go ahead.
Did you find an ID on the woman? Was she from Houston?
I'm not sure, sir. If we found an idea right now, if we did, we'll share that with you. But you know what we're up against today on this day, and I think it's very important for us to get before the cameras as quickly as we can, not competing with the Super Bowl and everything else. Let our citizens know that everything is good here, and we're standing together, and we're moving forward.
Can I ask Pastor Osteen,
go ahead.
Were you in
He's not. I'm sorry. Let me ask you one thing. I forgot to hold up. Hear me out. I forgot to say the pastor is not going to go with any more questions or anything today. It'll be a time a little bit later. So I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. I forgot to say that. Go ahead. Within minutes, sir. Within minutes, a lot of officers responded.
She was actually aiming at anybody specific?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to speak to
Any witnesses? There's so many, thousands of people.
Yeah, that's part of the investigation, and we're going to talk to those witnesses. Some are still here, thank God, and they stayed back. So that's part of the investigation. One more with you, and then I'm going to get over here. All right?
The child that was with this female, is it believed that they are related like a daughter?
I don't want to speculate. I don't know. The only thing that we know that they arrived here together. Okay? Next question.
Do we know if the suspect arrived in a vehicle?
Yes, a white vehicle. Thanks for I failed to say that. A white vehicle. Yeah.
Can you any more descriptors on that vehicle?
Not right now. It's just a white vehicle, and we did search that vehicle to make sure there were no explosive or anything found in it. Go ahead.
Is there an ID for what was sprayed on the ground?
We don't know yet. The fire department, as the chief Pena said, they're still evaluating that. All right, a few more questions. Go ahead.
If the child was the woman's, the boy was the woman's child, what's the relation between the two of them?
I don't know. I don't know. All right. Let me get somebody that asks me a question. Go ahead, and then I'll come back to you. Go ahead. Speak up a little bit. Until we get through, and the pastor and his staff will make that decision, but it's going to be closed for now. I think that was the last service for today anyway, okay? Who's next? Who hadn't asked me a question?
I was just wondering, that other gentleman who was hurt,
Go ahead.
Was he just a parishioner, happened to be walking by?
I think so. I think so. That's what we believe at this time. It's shot in the leg, okay? In stable condition. Go ahead.
An officer I spoke with earlier today said they're still searching for another male suspect. Is that not the case?
I don't think so. We believe her to be the lone suspect. If you can believe, with thousands of people in the church, when shots are fired, people run from that area. Some people may say he was a suspect, some not. But we don't believe that at this time, okay? But anybody that ran away or seen anything, we're going to ask that they call HPD Homicide, 713-308-3600. Even if you left the scene, we need to get a full statement of what you witnessed, okay?
Chief, were those officers wearing body cams at the time?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Chief, you said that after she was shot, the suspect said that she had a bomb, and did she say that spontaneously, or was she being questioned by officers?
I'm not sure. I didn't talk to her. That's just what's told to me, or we'll gather more information. We're gonna do 2 more questions, okay? Who hadn't asked me anything? We good? Go ahead.
There's a female that's a suspect right now, and she's under investigation, or is she no longer with us?
She's deceased. Yes, ma'am. Thanks for asking. Go ahead. Last one.
Still here on scene. Is that vehicle still here on scene?
Yes, it's still being processed, okay? It's part of the scene. And it takes hours before we clear the scene.
And I assume you'll have video, security camera video you guys will
We'll see. We'll see. We're very transparent here in the police department, HPD. So if we have footage at the right time, appropriate time, and if there's body-worn camera, the officers will work an extra job. I don't know the policy for the federal agency, but we'll check with our officers, see if he had it. Okay? Hey, thank y'all. Let's continue to pray for everybody. Thank you very much.
Houston Police Chief Troy Finner wrapping up a police briefing outside Lakewood Church. Pastor Joel Osteen there, right in the middle of your screen there, as we try to make sense of what they say was a lone shooter inside Lakewood Church this afternoon.